It unfortunately doesn't get easier by waiting. In fact, sometimes it gets worse because the tension just keeps building. So I would say just acknowledge the discomfort, feel it, but then rip off the Band-Aid and just say it.
Welcome to The Art of Speaking Up, a podcast that empowers professional women to rise. I'm your host, Jessica Guzik, and in this show, I take you undercover into the stories and lessons that I learned, sometimes the hard way, throughout my career. I also talk with working women, leaders, and coaches to show you that no matter what your struggle is, and no matter what your career goals are, you already have all the talent that you need to succeed. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm really excited to be recording this because today's episode is celebrating a huge milestone of the show. It is the 1-year anniversary, the 1-year birthday of the podcast, and I feel so excited to have arrived at this point and so grateful to have you tuning in and to have you be a part of this. Today's episode is very different than any of the other episodes. So if you're tuning in for the first time, this one's a bit of an anomaly. But this episode was inspired by a couple of things. One of them more on the serious side, and one of them more on the fun and silly and playful side. On the serious side, this episode was inspired by the idea of courage. I think so often when we're struggling to speak up, when we're struggling to show up bigger, when we're struggling to be seen, a lot of that struggle manifests in the experience of fear and us feeling afraid and that fear driving our behavior. And if you're listening to this show, there's a good chance that there are elements of your behavior that you would like to change. But when it comes to changing those behaviors, if those behaviors are happening because of fear, then in order to change the behaviors, we have to face the fear, which is scary because it's fear. And how do we face fear? We do so using courage and leveraging something that we have inside of us that helps us move through those difficult feelings and helps us get through that difficult thing. Sometimes we do it alone, and sometimes we lean on the support of others, and both are beautiful and both can be really cathartic, and they can be experiences that really help us grow. So that idea of gathering up our courage and doing something bold was one of the things that inspired what you're about to hear. The other piece that inspired it was much more fun and much more on the playful side. And it was my thought process of, well, it's the 1-year anniversary. It's kind of like a birthday. It feels like a birthday, but it's not my birthday. It's the podcast's birthday. But if it's the podcast's birthday, is the podcast an entity? Is it a person? Is it a being? It has a birthday. So what is it? And once we figure out what it is, what would it want for its birthday? And if that sounds a bit odd or strange, it will clarify itself in just a minute. This is a scripted episode. Most of what you usually hear on the show is a conversation, or it's just me talking to you one-on-one. This is a very different style of episode, as you will see. It's more like a scene from a show or a play or a performance, and I hope that you enjoy it. And with that, I'm going to cut to today's conversation, which is not like the others, but I hope it brings you joy, and I'll catch you at the end. So, Art of Speaking Up, what do you want for your birthday?
Birthday? What is a birthday?
Okay. Well, a birthday is the day someone was born. Although you weren't technically born, you were launched into the world because you're a podcast. But it's the day that someone came into the world, and every year on that calendar day, you celebrate. And one of the ways that you celebrate is by getting presents. And so I wanted to ask you what you wanted for your birthday.
I'm a podcast, Jessica. I can't get presents. I am literally made up of lines of computer code. I don't even have hands.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. Look, you might not have hands, but do you know what?
What?
You've made a lot of women feel better.
I have?
Yes.
Did you know that you've helped women land new jobs and stand up for themselves and feel more confident at work? You don't need hands to do that.
I had no idea.
It's true. You've been so busy sending these episode files back and forth from servers to people's phones that you haven't even noticed. You really deserve this, and I think that you should own it and celebrate your birthday, and if there's something that you want for your birthday, ask for it.
Well, maybe you're right, but how would I receive a gift? I live in the cloud. I sleep on a server. And I'm made up of zeros and ones. What kind of present could I even get?
Well, let's problem solve. If you're made up of code and you live on a server, we just need to think of a gift that is also made up of code and also lives on a server. So let's see. What about a new show logo and cover art?
I love my cover art. Bright blue, complemented with dark purple, and a slight pop of hot pink. What could be better?
Okay. Ooh, what about a new intro jingle? New music for the show?
No way. The music fires me up and makes me feel alive. You can't see, but I dance whenever it plays.
Okay, fair point. I'm trying to think of other options.
Oh my gosh, I've got it.
What?
Ratings and reviews. Ratings and reviews live on the server.
OMG! I did not think of that. You are an actual genius.
Well, I'm not a genius, but you know, artificial intelligence and all of that stuff.
Okay, ratings and reviews it is. But if I were you, I'd be specific. How many stars do you think you should get? How many stars do you want?
3?
3? Why so low? This is on a scale of 1 to 5.
Well, I haven't done much, really. How would I justify 5 stars?
Oh my gosh, you're doing the thing. You're doing the thing that women do when it comes time to show up and stand in our worth. You are downplaying your accomplishments.
I am so sorry.
No, don't apologize. It's not your fault. I did not realize that podcasts have a gender, but duh, this is a women's podcast and you are obviously female.
Jessica, how did you not know I'm female this entire time?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize, and I didn't mean to offend you or anything, but this is really, really important. You're doing the thing that we so often do where we undervalue ourselves and then we ask for too little and then we receive too little and then it validates the false notion that we're not worthy and then the cycle starts itself all over again. We need to help you break the cycle.
How do I break the cycle?
Well, first you need to decide what you actually think you're worth. Why 3 stars? Why not 5?
Jessica, don't you realize that I have made so many mistakes? Are you forgetting the time when you uploaded that one episode and I kept freezing it on the 19-minute mark? And that other time when someone searched for me in Apple Podcasts and it just kept saying no results? And Jessica, you're forgetting about the bugs. The bugs in my code. There are so many bugs.
Okay. So now what's happening is you're spiraling. You're going on a downward spiral. And this is also something that we get caught in and that we do all the time. We make 1 or 2 little mistakes and sometimes we fall into like this black hole of self-criticism. But here's the thing that we keep forgetting when it comes to mistakes and flaws and imperfections. We keep forgetting that we are human and humans make mistakes.
But I'm not human, Jessica.
I'm so sorry. I said that wrong. What I mean is that a lot of the times we let our mistakes take the driver's seat and we forget about all of the good things and all of our accomplishments and all of the things that we've done incredibly well. It's as if all of the positive stuff never existed, but we all have strengths and we all have accomplishments and we all have things that we bring to the table that we deserve to be rewarded for.
I guess it would feel nice to get 5 stars in exchange for my file transmission efforts.
Yes, it would feel good. I love this. And now we're talking. We're making progress because when you say that it would feel nice to get 5 stars, you're starting to own what you want and you're starting to own your worth. And so once you've admitted to yourself what you truly want, what would actually make you happy, the next step is to go out and ask for it. It's really funny because what we're doing right now, this conversation, it's a lot like a salary negotiation or a conversation that someone listening to this show might have to have at work. So now that you know that deep down somewhere in your heart you do want 5 stars, now all you have to do is ask for them.
Oh, no, no, no! That sounds way too confrontational and straightforward. Greedy, almost. 5 stars feels like too much.
Do you know that I've been exactly where you are, probably more times than I can even count? And a lot of the women who listen to this show have been where you are. We've been to that place of discomfort. And it feels like everything inside us is telling us, don't speak up, don't share the idea, don't ask for the salary that you want. We have these stories of how we're not good enough, these stories of why we shouldn't ask, and they're looping in our minds. They're looping over and over, kind of like code, actually. And now this is making me wonder if we have these thoughts looping in our minds, like code, where are your self-critical thoughts coming from? Because this is making me wonder if you've got some bad code. Can I ask you to do something really quick?
Of course.
Can you go into your memory or storage device or wherever your code lives and find your self-critical code?
Easy task. Code has been found.
What are you finding? Can you read it to me?
Self-critical code. Line 1 says, I am unworthy.
Can you delete it?
Deleted, but there's more.
Oh my gosh, what else?
I am not smart enough.
Delete, what else?
Deleted. Next line of code says, I am not capable.
Wipe it out, get rid of it. Anything else insidious hiding in there?
So much bad code, Jessica. It says, women are small, women are here to please, women must be pretty all of the time, women will fail if given too much responsibility, women must not sound too loud, women must stop with uptick, women's careers fail because they have baby.
Oh gosh, okay, I can't hear much more of it. Can you just delete all of it?
Deleted, but Jessica, deleting code does not remove all traces of memory. I still feel afraid.
Honestly, I think you might be more human than you realize. What you're describing, what you're feeling, is something that we all struggle with. We work on ourselves and we try to undo our limiting beliefs and faulty programming, but we'll never just leave behind every difficult thing and every self-critical thought and enter into some sort of nirvana. Life is full of these ups and downs and these really hard periods, and feeling afraid and struggling is one of them.
But I love nirvana. Ups and downs sound so hard.
Well, they are, but do you know what's way cooler and way more exciting than just finding a huge shortcut, deleting all of your code, and never feeling afraid ever again?
What?
Knowing that it will never matter how afraid you feel, because you can do scary things. I have a majorly rhetorical question, but do you know the name of this show?
The Art of Speaking Up. The Art of Speaking Up is a podcast that empowers women to pursue their wildest career goals.
Correct. The Art of Speaking Up. And this moment is it. This moment right here represents everything that the show is about. It's about being filled with doubt and fear and speaking up anyway. It's about making a decision to finally show up for yourself and do the thing that you know deep down in your heart you really want to do. This is your chance to embody what you, the show, you, the podcast, are all about. And you're not even just doing it for yourself. You're doing it for me and for every single person who's listening. When we see another woman speak up, even though she's afraid, then we know that we can feel afraid and do it too. Are you willing to try for me and for everyone listening?
Will you help me?
Of course I'll help you. I'm here for you 100% if you want to try to do this.
Eek! I don't know. This is so uncomfortable.
Just see if you can say it. It unfortunately doesn't get easier by waiting. In fact, sometimes it gets worse because the tension just keeps building. So I would say just acknowledge the discomfort, feel it, but then rip off the Band-Aid and just say it. Just say, I would like 5 stars for my birthday.
Eek! I would like 5 stars for my birthday.
Oh my gosh, you did it, you did it, you did it. Great. Do you want to do it one more time? This time with a little more pizzazz, a little more oomph?
I would like 5 stars for my birthday.
Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. You're doing great. I'm thinking we should do this one more time. And this time, when you say it, I want you to think of the billions of bits of information that you have transmitted all on your own through the internet. And I want you to think of the hustle and grind and how you've been available literally 24/7, never stopping, there at any moment for people to download you in time zones all around the world. Think of that and say it again.
I would like 5 stars.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. How do you feel?
I feel powerful.
That's because you are powerful. And while we're at it, is there anything else that you want to ask for your birthday?
I've always wanted a pony.
All right, I will let everyone know 5 stars, 1 pony.
I will name her Cinnamon.
I love that name. That reminds me of when I got my first pet. It was a bunny rabbit. So we got Bunny.
And there you have it. I had a lot of fun creating this, and I hope that you had fun listening to it, and I hope that it inspired you in some ways. I'm sure that you can tell that the podcast is in some ways an alter ego. It's definitely a piece of my alter ego, and I think it's a piece of all of us. And I think that piece of us that's trying to come out stronger, trying to be seen, trying to really step up and be courageous, that piece that's a little afraid and maybe not super bold quite yet, is just as important a piece as all of the other pieces of us. And I firmly believe that our deepest strengths and our longest lasting strengths come when we embrace everything, when we embrace the moments of fear and the moments of discomfort and those moments where it's just really hard for us to take the step forward that we know that we want to take. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to support the show, if you want to do something in honor of the show's first birthday, a rating or a review in Apple Podcasts would mean the world to me, and it would be such an exciting birthday gift for me and the podcast to receive. So with that, I'm going to sign off. We will be back to our regularly formatted episodes next week, so I'll catch you then. But in the meantime, I hope that life is treating you well, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.